Subject 22. Interior, the lab, evening. Robert activates the cure synthesizer and it hums to life. The machine codes the new viral sequence and eventually a glowing purple liquid is dispensed into a tube. A light and a ding signaling the concoction's completion before Robert removes the tube carefully and attaches a long needle, creating a syringe. Robert turns around, syringe at the ready, and behind him is a zombie. Strapped to an operating chair, the zombie yells and pulls on its chains as Robert nears. Yeah! Robert leans over Subject 21 and pushes the needle into the side of his head, into his brain, and injects the purple liquid. He removes the needle. Subject 21 blinks a few times as if waking up or coming from a daze. Robert, watching intently, becomes noticeably intrigued. Subject 21 jerks, closing his eyes. He twitches, he grits his teeth and shakes crazily, and then stops, motionless. Then he opens his eyes, looking around with intelligence. He eventually falls his zombie eyes on Robert. Subject 21 swallows. Where am I? Robert slowly approaches Subject 21, as if to respond to the confused man, but he instead raises a handheld audio recorder. Dr. Robert Swanson, Project Cure, June 13th, 2029. Subject 21. Subject is remarkably aware of his surroundings. Let me out of here, even acknowledging me, insisting I free him. Please! Vitals are stable. Why are you doing this to me? Marked improvement in every category compared to Subject 20. Truly remarkable. I don't understand. Subject 21 projectile vomits blood, then stupidly looks down at the mess. Oh my God. He vomits more blood. Subject 21's vitals have dropped significantly, and he's... God damn it. I believe he's entered phase 1 of rapid degeneration. Subject 21 vomits again, then begins screaming. My head! Ah! What's happening? Subject 21 convulses. Subject 21 has gone into convulsions. Subject 21's eyeballs explode out of his head as he screams wildly. And this is new. His eyeballs have exploded out of his skull. Ah! Subject 21's head explodes, just a long tongue flailing around for half a second, then lifeless and still, except for the gurgling air escaping his lungs. Robert sighs. And his head exploded. Project failure. And Robert turns off the recorder, and we go to black. 3 weeks later. Robert activates the cure synthesizer. It hums to life and begins creating a cure, Robert hoped, for the 22nd time. A glowing yellow liquid is dispensed into a tube. Robert retrieves the tube, adds the needle, and turns around, revealing Subject 22, strapped to the operating chair. Subject 22 groans nervously as Robert approaches, but never shouts, not even when Robert pushes the syringe into the side of his head and injects the yellow liquid. Robert removes the syringe, sets it down, and steps back to observe. Subject 22 looks around with mindless curiosity, then squeezes his eyes shut and convulses, groaning and shaking, then stopping. He opens his eyes, blinking, taking in his surroundings. He looks at Robert. Robert turns on the audio recorder, and the two stare at each other in silence. After a few moments, Dr. Robert Swanson, Project Cure, June 25th, 2029. Subject 22. Subject is not doing anything. Vitals are good. I believe something may have gone terribly wrong. With what? With, Subject is displaying good cognitive functions, acknowledging my statement with a logical question. Subject 22 scrunches his nose, closing his eyes and leaning his head back. Subject 22 may be entering. Subject 22 sneezes, then goes back to staring at Robert. After a few moments, are you going to do anything? Say anything? What do you want me to do? I'm chained to a chair. I don't know. Honestly, I expected your brain would be combusting by now. That's dark, man. Well then, what do you want me to say? Tell me how you feel, I guess. Well, I felt better, honestly. In fact, I feel fucking terrible. Like my head's on fire, and... Subject 22 wiggles around a little. I just feel weird. Subject 22 states he feels unwell, with burning sensation in the brain, most likely the serum reigniting brain functions. Robert stares at subject 22, 22 at Robert. Robert slowly sits, never taking his eyes off subject 22. Now what? Feel any different? Not really. Do you know where you are? No. Do you know who you are? Yeah. Who are you? Subject 22 swallows. My name is John. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. I have a wife, a son. Do you know what global catastrophe has occurred leading you to this moment? No. Why haven't you panicked? What do you mean? You know who you are, but not where you are, or what has transpired, finding yourself chained to a chair with your head on fire and me, a stranger in a lab coat studying you, yet you remain calm. Why? I guess because I think I understand why I'm restrained. And why is that? Because I want to eat you. Robert was not expecting this response, and his expression reflects this. Eat me? Yes. Well, your brain, really. You find this urge odd? Sort of. Elaborate. I know it's not right to want to eat your brain, but it feels right to want to eat your brain. In fact, I have no idea why I've never eaten a brain. Subject 22 appears to be very well, displaying memory and reasoning. However, he has no recollection of before or after the infection, and he retains the urge to eat brains. I will need to be very, very cautious when continuing my research on this peculiar subject. Robert clicks off the recorder, and we cut to black. The recorder clicks back on, and we cut in on subject 22 holding the recorder and scooping the squishy gray brains from Robert's bashed open skull and stuffing his mouth. He sits in Robert's chair, at Robert's desk. Subject 22 eats brains and rewinds the recorder. He pushes play, and we hear Robert's voice. Is my last captive zombie, and perhaps last hope for mankind. I can only pray that subject 22 can be reasoned with, and that his unnatural lust for brain can somehow be undone. Subject 22 burps and turns off the recorder, and we cut to black. The end.